My name is Michael. I was born as the son of a CEO, and I'm grateful to have been raised in a wealthy family. I grew up carefree with my sister, who is 2 years older than me, and both of us developed very generous personalities. However, my parents disliked unnecessary extravagance. Despite our wealth, we were strangers to lavish lifestyles. Their motto was to live modestly, which has deeply influenced my mindset today. Another important value my parents instilled in me was to cherish the people around me. They taught me that no one can live alone, and that those who don't value others won't be valued in return. Now that I'm an adult, I truly understand and agree that this is very important. Thanks to these lessons, my sister and I, now as adults, are blessed with good people around us and are leading happy lives. Recently, my father decided to retire from his CEO position, and I'm set to take over the company. While my father will remain as the chairman, effectively, I will be the top executive of the company, which keeps me quite busy. I've been training in my father's company since graduating from college, but becoming CEO brings a sense of responsibility that tightens my resolve. During a family meeting about who would take over the company, my sister expressed interest in business but wanted to venture into a different field, so it was decided that I would be the successor. My father, who treats his children equally without gender bias, had a discussion with us, and my sister was very thankful for that. He promised to support my sister's start-up financially as I take over the company. Actually, I got married 4 years ago and have been living away from my parents' house. I met my wife, Emily, through our shared hobby of tennis. After dating for 2 years and now being married for 4, I'm still head over heels for her. Emily is both elegant and beautiful. I fell for her at first sight, but the more I got to know her, the deeper I fell into the Emily trap. Despite her delicate and slender appearance, she's a woman with a strong character and resilience. She's even more robust than some men, which is very admirable. We don't have children yet, but I'm confident that if we're blessed with kids, Emily and I will do a great job raising them. With our wedding anniversary coming up in 3 months, we're discussing going out for a nice meal, but Emily says such luxury isn't necessary. Indeed, Emily, like my parents, isn't much for extravagance. The only things we really spend money on are our house and car. We also prioritize quality food ingredients. That's because Emily loves to cook. Apart from that, we never waste money. Emily's passion for cooking and our mutual preference for a simple lifestyle mean we rarely dine out, except for anniversaries. We only visit our favorite restaurant when eating with my parents. Otherwise, we mostly stay at home. But this time, I managed to convince Emily to go out, celebrating not just our anniversary, but also my new role as CEO. Emily doesn't dislike eating out, but she always says that excessive luxury undermines our regular efforts. I agree with her philosophy. That's why these rare dining out opportunities as a couple make me exceptionally excited. Another reason Emily prefers staying home is our house. We've invested a lot in building our ideal home from scratch, and Emily loves it. She was particularly involved in designing the kitchen, spending most of her day there. Emily's cooking is always delicious, making me look forward to coming home every day. Another one of Emily's favorite spots is the living room. It's designed like a log cabin with large windows that offer a view of expansive greenery. Emily loves sitting in front of the window, either in a rocking chair or on a large sofa, sipping coffee while enjoying the view. When she's not in the kitchen, she's usually there. I also love this room, so reading while taking in the scenery from the living room has become a daily routine for me. Michael, here's something to go with your reading. Well, this looks delicious. Thanks, Emily. You're welcome. I'll take a little break too. When I'm reading, Emily sometimes makes snacks for me. My favorite is her cinnamon cookies. They're the perfect reading companion and go well with coffee. Made with rice flour, they are light and can be enjoyed in large quantities. By the way, I was able to make a reservation for our anniversary dinner. They apologized for not having any private rooms available. Thanks for making the reservation. It's totally fine without a private room. No need to apologize. We always have a private room for family meals, so they were probably just trying to be considerate. I'm just happy we can eat there. Emily is like this. She's always grateful for everything and never complains. Our values align so closely, making it so comfortable and reassuring to be together. Despite her gentle demeanor, she has a strong core. Her toughness, rarely seen, always surprises me. The next day, as usual, I head to the office. Today is a bit busier due to some handovers I have to manage. As my inauguration as CEO is fast approaching, the company is in full swing. In fact, it's officially decided that I'll take over as CEO the day after our wedding anniversary. Morning. Good morning. You're visiting clients today. Yeah, staying in the office depresses me. I see. Hata. His name is Brian, an elite in our company. But his self-awareness as an elite can be a bit troublesome. Sure, he's competent, but he constantly belittles others, looking down on them. He's exactly the type I dislike the most. Everyone knows I'm the CEO's son and that I'll soon take over the business. Brian is no exception. I have no intention of using that to my advantage, nor do I want anyone to kowtow to me. But I'm not a fan of Brian's attitude, acting as if his competence entitles him to do whatever he pleases. Displaying such behavior to the future CEO might seem straightforward, but I'll be heading straight home today, so call my cell phone if you need anything. Got it. Brian left the office without greeting anyone else, quickly making his exit. Although he's capable, his reputation among the staff isn't great, so there's a noticeable lift in spirits when he's not around. While handling the handover, I probe into Brian's recent behavior. With my upcoming role as CEO, I've been focusing on gathering feedback from employees to improve communication within the company. Then, the complaints about Brian keep coming. They all boil down to his lack of respect for others. The main grievance is about his domineering attitude. He tells others not to instruct him in his work, causing communication issues and frustration. And his reaction when someone makes a mistake. Instead of offering support, he berates and ridicules, and that's the end of it. He reportedly never gives advice on what could have been done better. Apparently, he believes that advising the weak is pointless since they won't understand, and if they improve based on his advice, it would only get in his way. Isn't that just a terrible attitude? Despite calling others weak, he seems afraid of their potential growth affecting his sales performance. It's quite pitiful. Hearing this, I've resolved to first improve the company's atmosphere once I take office. Harassment will not be tolerated. I need to have a serious talk with Brian. I was thinking, when Michael, do you have a moment? Dad, what's up? This is unusual. There's been a complaint about an employee, and I want you to handle it. What's going on? It seems that at this moment, a certain employee could no longer tolerate Brian and filed a complaint against him. While I understand a complaint, it's not as simple as just firing him on the spot. A proper warning and a chance to change his behavior is what a company should provide. I advise the employee to keep a detailed record of any harassment from Brian going forward. And I decided to have a talk with Brian the next day. Brian, can we talk? What? I'm heading out soon. I don't have much time. I informed him about the complaint. Seriously, the incompetent always seek help. No brains otherwise. If they are so upset, they should just try to perform like me. Seriously, I can understand where Brian is coming from. He does have skills. But that doesn't justify hurting others. I made that clear to him. I acknowledge that you're good at your job, and the company values your contribution, but you do understand that doesn't give you the right to hurt others, right? On the contrary, people who don't value others won't be valued themselves, and it could ruin the talent you have. This is a warning, but next time, I may have to be more strict. Yeah, the world is just full of weak people. If everyone were as tough as me, the world would be a better place. Seriously, I'm supporting my family, living luxuriously, and still have money to spare. Everyone else is just too soft. It's up to you how you spend your money. But remember, not everyone shares the same values. Just keep that in mind. Talking to Brian can be exhausting. I'm earning money, indulging in luxuries, and supporting my family. So what does that really mean? Why does he use these as weapons to belittle others? Having financial security is wonderful because it can provide peace of mind. But isn't that supposed to calm one's own heart rather than being used as a weapon to hurt others? Luxury isn't something to flaunt. If you're indulging just to show off, it might actually be impoverishing your spirit. I can't understand it at all. Dealing with Brian and his complex feelings, I can only softly convey the message as the current president's messenger until I officially take over. Handling situations like these might actually be something I'm better at than my father. So I'm somewhat looking forward to tackling these challenges once I'm CEO, alas. As I continue my days balancing reigning in Brian and handling my handover tasks, time flies, and our wedding anniversary approaches us. Brian remains unchanged, intimidating others with his attitude and acting like royalty. He even brags about his car, house, and dining experiences to younger employees, clearly fishing for compliments. Is he living just to boast about his possessions? On the day of our anniversary, I've taken half a day off work today, so I'll be home by early afternoon. Got it? Looking forward to it. Me too. Let's spend some time relaxing at home before we head to the restaurant. I'll prepare something light for lunch, so don't be too late. Can't wait. Since getting married, taking half a day off to spend the afternoon with Emily has been my treat for our anniversary. But this year I'm thinking of buying her flowers. She's not much into accessories, so I'm saving that for a milestone anniversary like our 10th. Arriving at the office, I find Brian unusually seated at his desk. Well, it doesn't matter much to me since I'll only be at the office for a few hours today. Morning. Yeah, hi. Can't this man greet people properly? It's rare to see you in the office. I've got a backlog of paperwork today. Right. Typically, employees who are often out have internal assistants to help with paperwork, but Brian's terrible attitude has made his assistant uncooperative. Moreover, Brian doesn't trust or respect his assistant, choosing to handle everything himself. In a way, it's impressive, but it always makes me think he's just tightening the noose around his own neck. All right, I'm only here till noon today, so please take care of everything after that. Okie dokie. Speak properly, will you? Well, it doesn't matter about him now. Today is our delightful wedding anniversary. Since I'll be taking on the role of CEO tomorrow, I want to fully enjoy today's anniversary and focus on the company from tomorrow. I finished the final handovers in the morning and left the company. On my way, I stopped by a florist and bought a bouquet of roses. I also picked up a message card. I went into a nearby cafe to complete the card. Exchanging letters on our anniversary is a tradition for us as a couple. We always express our feelings verbally, but it's nice to have them in writing too. I'm home. Here, Emily. Happy anniversary. Thank you for everything. I look forward to many more years together. Wow, such beautiful flowers. Michael, thank you. I'm really happy. I look forward to more years together too. We enjoyed the light lunch Emily had prepared and spent the time until our dinner out watching movies, relaxing together. The restaurant we're going to tonight is a high-end establishment that my parents have patronized for generations, so it's a place where we can relax. We usually reserve a private room, but since none were available today, we'll be dining at the counter for the first time. It's a new experience, so I'm looking forward to it. When we arrive at the restaurant at our reservation time. Hello, good evening. Emily and I were led to the counter. It was raining, so we got a bit wet from the taxi to the restaurant entrance and took off our jackets to sit down. Emily laughed, saying her hairstyle got messed up. We always try to dress nicely and appropriately, but comfort is our priority, so we don't mind a bit if our appearance is a bit disheveled. First, we had some warm coffee. The coffee is warm and comforting. You got a bit wet, didn't you? Are you cold? Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm looking forward to the meal. Neither Emily nor I drink alcohol. It's not that we're abstaining. By chance, both of us just don't drink. We thought about having some wine for a change since it's our anniversary, but since there's tomorrow to think about, we decided to stick with coffee. But this coffee isn't just any coffee. It's a specialty coffee from the restaurant. Not free. No compromises for our wedding anniversary. The aroma of coffee is softly fragrant and relaxing. We both wish each other happy wedding anniversary and toast with a cup of coffee. While we were toasting with our coffee, a woman was led to the counter seat next to us. No private rooms available. Private rooms are reserved for parties of 2 or more, and unfortunately, they're all booked today. Useless, as always. Give me the usual white wine. A rather high-handed woman took the seat next to us. Although she's seated a couple of seats away, her voice is loud enough for us to hear everything. Looking the other way, I caught Emily's eye. Emily just smiled sweetly at me. Ah, my soothing angel. Today is about celebrating with Emily. I regretted even momentarily paying attention to the woman next seat. Is this freshly opened? Yes, it was opened just today. Don't underestimate me. I won't accept anything that's not fresh. She's been noisy since she arrived. On our special anniversary, no less. Maybe we should have chosen a different restaurant if we couldn't get a private room. Emily, sorry we couldn't get a private room. I apologized to Emily in a soft voice. It's totally fine. Let's enjoy the meal. Emily is smiling and completely unfazed. She truly is an admirable woman. Compared to her, the woman next to us is just like a Brian type of person, interacting with others in a high-handed manner, as if she's some kind of queen. Excuse me. Yes. This is the worst. She started talking to us. Since it's our go-to restaurant, I can't just ignore another customer, so reluctantly, I turn towards the woman. You're new here, aren't you? Your aura gives it away. Not really new here, haha. She's being outright rude from the get-go. I just want to handle this quickly and end it. I saw you toasting with coffee earlier. This isn't that kind of place. People without money won't enjoy it here. Everything is high-end. Your Chardonnay, madam. The server arrived with the wine at the perfect timing, quieting the woman down as she started on her appetizer and wine. I turned to Emily, feeling relieved. Sorry about this. I wanted us to have a nice time together. It's okay. Maybe she's just lonely. How endlessly kind can Emily be? Even on our wedding anniversary, when someone else implies we didn't belong, she tries to understand their situation. I need to learn from her. Feeling ashamed of my momentary irritation. Then, our course's appetizer arrived. Delicate and beautifully presented, it brought an involuntary smile to my face. Wow, it's so beautiful. It feels almost a shame to eat such delicate food. True, but we have to eat. More is coming. Right? Let's enjoy. The meal, shared with small moments of joy, tastes wonderful. We know this restaurant always serves delicious food, but opting for the chef's course means enjoying the best seasonal ingredients chosen and arranged by the chef. Emily and I always choose this chef's course. How ridiculous. Saying it's a shame to eat sounds like something a pool person would say. Embarrassing. The woman next to us continued with her snide remarks. Though it irked me, I decided to ignore her. Our comment about the food being too good to eat was about its artistic beauty, not reluctance to finish it. Indeed, it's delicious enough to eat endlessly. Let's ignore her. Okay, I don't mind, so it's fine. We whispered to each other. Emily seemed completely at ease enjoying the food, but the staff, knowing us, looked pale. After a while, the woman who had been quiet began to show signs of intoxication. Starting with her second glass of wine, she began to snap at the staff. First, she didn't like the small appetizer. She was persistent about why she wasn't served the same appetizer we were eating. The staff explained several times, politely, that our appetizer was part of the course and couldn't be served individually. Yet, she persisted, claiming her status as a regular. Feeling sorry for the staff, I focused on enjoying the meal with Emily while they dealt with her. Just then, our main course arrived. We had the option to choose between fish or meat, and this time, we opted for meat. Eating top-ranked beef with salt. The sweetness of the fat spreads in the mouth, with salt providing a perfectly balanced accent. It's sublime. It's so delicious I could cry. I'm glad you like it. The food here is always fantastic, isn't it? It's a taste I couldn't possibly replicate. It's very educational and a great experience to enjoy food like this occasionally. Thank you for bringing me here, Michael. You're welcome. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary to you too. After finishing our main course and enjoying a palate-cleansing sorbet, the woman started causing a scene again. She was making a fuss, demanding to be served the same course that we were eating. Noticing that our course seemed more upscale than her meal, she insisted on having what we were having. Despite her loud claims that she usually dines on more expensive fare, trying to make us aware, we completely ignored her. Then, she started boasting about her expenditures, mentioning specific dates and amounts spent, turning it into a display of extravagance. Listening to such content, I couldn't help but grimace in embarrassment. The staff, while desperately trying to maintain professionalism, explained that our course was pre-booked and couldn't be served on a whim today. Observing her, it seemed she wanted to assert dominance over us, suddenly standing up and shouting for everyone to hear. Bring out my usual $3,000 bottle. The usual. Apparently, she resorted to flaunting an expensive wine as her final move. We were here to celebrate our anniversary, not to compete with her, and frankly, flaunting wealth isn't our thing. Why there are people like her is beyond me, but at the moment, it's best to let sleeping dogs lie. Whatever expensive wine she orders doesn't concern us. We just hope she leaves us alone as we wait for the rest of our meal. Emily, too, was surprised by the woman's loud voice, but then went back to enjoying her sorbet. As we started on the next course, the woman, bottle in hand, approached us. I had a bad feeling about this. The clicking of her heels got closer, and the perfume she wore started to overpower the delicious aroma of our food. Excuse me. Yes. Have you been silently competing with me by eating all this fancy food? Excuse me. We're just here to enjoy a nice meal for our anniversary. Pretending to call the waiter over to show off your food, right? It's obvious you're flaunting it. It just happens that your seat is between the kitchen and us, and it's natural for the staff to serve our food. It's their job, after all. Annoying. Showing off with coffee toasts like simple people. And I have a piece of advice for you. The woman, for some reason, came over to our seats to pick a fight, brandishing her newly ordered expensive wine. When she started addressing Emily, I felt my patience wearing thin. Me. Yes, you. Acting all cute every time the food arrives is just nauseating. And your husband is nothing like mine. Pooh you. Toasting with coffee. My husband always orders expensive drinks. You must be so jealous. I'm sorry if we made you uncomfortable. Unfortunately, I can't drink alcohol, so coffee is perfect for me. It's wonderful your husband orders drinks that make you happy. Emily's response was graceful and composed. She's just too cool. But my stance remains unchanged. If she says anything more to hurt Emily, I won't let it slide. Oh, what? Pretending not to be hurt. You know, my husband is an elite businessman earning a lot, ensuring a secure future. He's nothing like the shabby man sitting next to you. Stop. I won't allow any more insults towards my precious wife. If you have an issue, address it to me. The staff looked pale. Understandably. A regular patron is being hassled by a troublesome customer. The restaurant is in a difficult position, unable to respond properly to such a formidable opponent. Humph, what precious wife. I hate how dependent poor people are. Oh, and you've never tasted such expensive alcohol, have you? Unfortunately, both of us don't drink alcohol, so we haven't tried it. I'll just have to force you to drink it then. At that moment, my vision blurred, and I started hearing screams around me as I realized what had happened. The woman had poured the expensive wine she had been holding all this while over my head. The wine flowed like a waterfall until the bottle was empty. Thank you, I couldn't quite taste it, but may I ask for your name? I've just now come to understand how distinguished you are. Oh, you're soaking wet. You have to drink it all, not waste it. Now that you understand, that's good enough for me. My name is Sarah. I'm an elite's wife, so don't you dare think you're above me. Sarah, what's your husband's name? It'd be good to remember both of you, right? As if you'd ever meet my capable husband. Brian. Unlike you, he's an elite, bringing in loads of money. I see, I'll remember that. Seemingly satisfied, Sarah left the restaurant after only having some appetizers and snacks. The staff and the owner apologized profusely, but I reassured them it wasn't their fault. Hearing Sarah's story, it clicked that her husband was Brian. Their use of language was too similar not to notice, and sure enough, I was right. Like-minded couple, indeed. According to the staff, Sarah always visits alone and has never come with her husband. She's known to cause trouble by trying to assert dominance over other customers. Emily laughed, saying, "We really got a show, didn't we?" with a smile. Her calmness is soothing. Despite the incident, since we had finished our meal, we canceled just the dessert, used my jacket, which had stayed dry, as a makeshift cover, and took a taxi home. The next day, despite being a bit distracted by the previous day's misfortune, it was my day to officially become the CEO. After the inauguration ceremony, I entered the CEO's office. The first thing I decided to do was clear. I prepared all the necessary documents and called Brian to the CEO's office. Excuse me. Hi, do you know why you've been called here? Is it a promotion? It's the opposite, actually. I'm letting you go. What? Why? Brian was taken aback. But I had done my homework thoroughly. After the incident at the restaurant, I had a thorough talk with the staff and the owner. And then came pouring out all the complaints about Sarah. I happened to meet your wife yesterday. Sarah, but what does that have to do with me being fired? She was quite true to me, and in the end, poured an entire bottle of wine over my head. After telling Brian about everything that happened yesterday, he turned pale. Sweat poured down his face as he started to tremble. I told Brian to calm down and offered him some water. I'm so sorry. I'll make sure to talk to my wife. Please don't fire me. It's not just about your wife. What? Brian, you've been telling your wife to be worthy of someone like you, an elite. To not associate with poor people but to brag about you instead. To always show off your status. That's, well, indeed, Brian had been instructing his wife to strive to match him and to boast about him to the world. I cannot tolerate using our company's name to hurt others. Our company's principle is to always be grateful to those around us. You've strayed too far from that principle, and your behavior at work has been escalating, hasn't it? That's absolutely not true. I've been careful since I was warned. Do you think it's okay as long as you don't say anything? Throwing documents, ignoring people when spoken to, banging on desks, kicking chairs. All of this is considered harassment, and all the employees have been keeping records. We have all the evidence. I didn't know. I was recorded. Brian seemed to think he could avoid harassment allegations by not verbalizing it, but that's not how it works. After losing his ability to speak, Brian became even more aggressive and high-handed. I had all the records sent to me, providing ample grounds for his dismissal. While I couldn't forgive what Sarah did, if Brian hadn't been such a person, perhaps Sarah might have been different. Considering this, I couldn't just leave Brian unchecked. For the company, losing Brian's sales skills was less of a loss compared to losing other valuable employees. I made the decision to fire him in good conscience. Afterwards, Brian accepted his dismissal and left the company. Apparently, he and Sarah had been in a troubled marriage for years, initially marrying for his money. When Brian lost his job, Sarah, having lost interest, filed for divorce. However, Brian, fearing the social stigma of losing his job and getting divorced, refused. Instead, he blamed Sarah for his job loss and filed a lawsuit for compensation. Of course, Sarah refused to pay any alimony, leading to a messy divorce battle. Both were individuals who believed being a part of the elite was their status. Their marriage was more about maintaining appearances than about love. A loveless marriage eroded their souls, with Sarah maintaining her balance by asserting dominance over others and Brian through harassment. While I felt sorry for them, helping them wasn't the company's job. I hoped they would relearn what's truly important in life. As for me, becoming CEO and firing Brian as my first act turned me into a hero among employees. I didn't want to be a hero for firing someone, but I was glad it showed I treated employees fairly. To improve the company's openness, I keep the door to my office open every day. It's to make it easy for anyone to talk to me frankly. However, not many people casually stop by the CEO's office. Still, it's really fun when my colleagues, who used to work alongside me, gather in the CEO's office during lunch break to eat together. My father, now chairman, occasionally joined us for lunch, saying he never experienced such openness during his tenure as CEO. I wanted to preserve my father's teachings while introducing new ideas. Emily continued her usual routine in our home's kitchen and living room. She constantly came up with delicious recipes and let me taste test them, each one amazing. We still didn't dine out much, but considering recent events, staying home felt like the happiest option. Every night, we'd drink coffee by the fireplace, sharing our day's stories. Emily said cooking was her stress reliever and asked me to let her keep doing it, so I planned to indulge her for a while. If she ever got tired of cooking, I wouldn't mind hiring a personal chef. I'm willing to spend money for our happiness. We agreed to value our current happiness and avoid unnecessary expenses. While it meant a modest lifestyle for a while, it was our way of being happy. I'll continue working hard to protect this happiness. We even talked about a stork visiting us soon, giving me more reason to work hard. Until that day comes, Emily and I will enjoy our life